Namaste everyone. Welcome back to online classes. In the previous class, we derived the expression for the current in terms of drift velocity, and we derived the expression for the conductivity of the material of the conductor, sigma, in terms of relaxation time. So today we saw some problems. Okay. The first problem, the number density of free electrons in a copper conductor is 8.5 into 10 to the power of 28 meter cube, 28 per meter cube. How long does an electron take to drift from one end of a wire whose length is 3 meter long to its other end? The area of cross section of the wire is given. It is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6 meter square, and it is carrying a current of 3 ampere. See, we have a copper wire of length is given. It is 3 meter. Yes, 3 meter. So length of the wire is 3 meter. So it is connected to a battery. So current flowing through the copper wire is 3 meter. So current is 3 ampere, not meter, it's ampere. Okay, current flowing through the copper wire is 3 ampere. Okay, right. So what is the number density? Number density of free electrons is given. Number density means number of electrons present per unit volume of the conductor. It is 8.5 into 10 to the power of 28. So n value is given, number density. It is 8.5 into 10 to the power of 28. That much of electrons are present in unit volume of the conductor, wire. 8.5 into 10 to the power of 28 electrons per meter cube. So length of the wire is given, L, it is 3 meter, and the current is given, it is 3 ampere. Right? What is asked? How long does an electron take to drift from one end of the conductor of the wire to the other end? Say electron is moving in the opposite direction of current, right? Electron is drifting in this particular direction. What is the time taken by the electron? How long does an electron take? Means what is the time required for the electron to drift from one end of the conductor to its other end, from here to here. Okay. So what is the time taken by the electron to reach this point, this end, from this end? Okay. So what is the value of t? Okay, how to solve this problem? We have the expression for current I is equal to NAE VD, right? So that is expression for current in terms of drift velocity. N is the number density, number of electrons present per unit volume. A is the area of cross section of the conductor. E is the charge of the electron, and VD is the drift velocity of the electron. Okay. So using this, you have to find out what is the time taken by the electron to reach here, from here. See, length is 3 meter. It travels at distance, or the displacement covered by the electron in reaching this end, from this end, is 3 meter. If you calculate the drift velocity of the electron is nothing but the average velocity with which the electron is moving. So VD. So VD is equal to displacement by time. Here the displacement from here to here is say x or L divided by the time taken t. T is asked. What is the value of t? L is given. Okay. So how to solve now? Okay, if you substitute the value of I, N, A, E here, you can get the value of VD. So this is 1, this is 2. Okay, using these two equations, We have to solve the problem. So Vd is equal to displacement by time, it is L by T. So therefore, using equation 1, now I is 3 ampere, N is, it is given 8.5 into 10 to the power of 28. So A, area of cross section is given here. Area of cross section is 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6, that much of meter square. So therefore 2.0, the exact value 2 into 10 to the power of minus 6, that much of meter square, that is the value of A, right? What is E? Charge of the electron is 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 into Vd, right? I value is 3, N is given, number density, area of cross section is given, the conductor, E is the charge of the electron, what is the value of Vd? Just substitute and calculate now what is Vd. So Vd comes out to be Vd 0.110156. Zero 156, just simplify, into 10 to the power of minus 3, that much of meter per second, or it is say nearly 1.1 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter per second. That is the value of Vd. Okay, just simplify. Okay, you will get the value of Vd. Use the calculator and calculate what is the value of Vd. It comes out to be 0.110156 into 10 to the power of minus 3, that much of meter per second. Now how to calculate time? So therefore, okay, using equation 2, equation 2 implies now Vd is equal to L by T. Vd is here, it is 1.101, right, into 10 to the power of minus 4, that is equal to, L is the length of the conductor is 3, what is the time? Therefore, what is the value of T? T is equal to 3 by 1.101 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Just simplify, you will get 10 to the power of 3, okay, or 2.72 into 10 to the power of 4, that much of seconds. Okay, so just a calculator, 3 by 1.101, you will get 27.234 into 10 to the power of 3, that much of second. Okay, so that is the time required by the electron to reach here from here. Okay, the simple problem, this is equation used, I is equal to NaEVd. I is given, what is the current flowing through the conductor, number density of the electrons is given, what is the number of electrons per unit volume, A is the area of cross section of the conductor, E is the charge of the electron, thereby you can calculate drift velocity. Once you calculate the drift velocity, you can calculate what is the unknown. Unknown is, see, how long does an electron take to drift from one end to the other end? What is the time required by the electron to reach here, from one end to the other end? What is the time? So velocity is nothing but displacement by time. Displacement is the length of the conductor itself, that is 3 meter, divided by what is the time taken to reach to cover this particular displacement T. We have calculated Vd here using this equation. Once you get the value of Vd, substitute here, you can calculate what is T, because L is known. What is the displacement covered by the electron? That is the length of the conductor itself, that is 3 meter. Okay, So t is 2.72 into 10⁴ second. That much of time is required for the electron to reach here from here. Okay. So for 3 ampere current, see, time taken by the electron to reach here from this end is very large, but what about the current? Current is 3 ampere, still current is 3 ampere. Okay, finite value of current is flowing, large value of current is flowing 3 ampere, because due to number of electrons, number density is more, therefore, so even though the time taken by the electron to reach here is more from this end to this end, due to the number density, because more number of electrons is present in this particular conductor, so therefore large value of current is obtained even though there is a more collision. Okay, right. So problem number 4, calculate the drift velocity of free electrons in copper wire from the following data. Atomic weight of copper is given, that is 63.5. Density of copper is 8.94 in 10⁻³ kg per meter cube. Cross section area of copper wire is 2.4 in 10⁻⁻⁴ meter square, and current through it is 4 ampere. Assume that each copper atom donates 1 electron. So you have to calculate the drift velocity of free electrons in copper. Data given: atomic weight of copper or atomic mass, that is 63.5. Density of copper rho. No, if you write say capital D, we use rho for resistivity. Okay, density of copper is 8.94 into 10⁻³ kg per meter cube. Cross section area is A, it is 2.4 into 10⁻⁻⁴ meter square, and current through the conductor is 4 ampere. Okay, I have to find out the value of Vd. So we have the expression for current, I is equal to NaEVd, right? So I is given 4 ampere, current flowing through the conductor is given 4 ampere, number density is not given. Okay, area of cross section is given, E is the charge of the electron. You have to find out the value of Vd. See, you have to find out the value of Vd, but N is unknown. All the other things are known. I, what is the current, what is area of cross section, what is the charge of the electron. You have to find out the value of Vd. Okay, but N is unknown. How to calculate the number density, small n? Okay, say one hint is given: atomic weight of copper is this much, density of copper is this much. Assume that each copper atom donates 1 free electron. See, what is number density N? It is the number of electrons present per unit volume. See, here D is given. What about density? Density is 8.94 into 10⁻³ kg per meter cube. Now using this, how to calculate the number density? Assume that each copper atom donates 1 free electron. Okay, one atom is giving 1 free electron for the electrical conduction. Okay, first calculate what is the number of atoms present per unit volume. If I calculate what is the number of atoms present per unit volume, I can calculate what is the number of electrons present per unit volume. Okay, because it is given one atom donates 1 free electron. So first calculate what is the number of atoms present per unit volume. That itself is that number itself is the number of free electrons present per unit volume, because one atom gives 1 free electron. Okay, so what is the number of atoms present per unit volume? or what is the number of atoms present in this particular mass, because this mass is for unit volume. Okay, so now you can use, see, atomic weight is given. If that atomic weight is expressed in terms of grams, so it has a Avogadro number of atoms. Okay, express the atomic weight or atomic mass in terms of grams. It consists of Avogadro number of atoms, 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 atoms. Okay, right. So 63.5 grams means 63.5 into 10 to the power of minus 3 kg. It contains Avogadro number of atoms, right? Now what is the mass? 8.94 into 10 to the power of 3 kg consists how many number of atoms? Say, I'll write capital N, number of atoms. So N is equal to, therefore, number of atoms present in this particular mass or per unit volume is 8.94 into 10 to the power of 3 into 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23 divided by 63.5 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So just simplify, you'll get the value of capital N, number of atoms present per unit volume or in this mass, 8.94 into 10 to the power of 3 kg. Okay, what is the value of N? Eight four seven nine six into 10 to the power of 17. Okay, so simplify, I'll get that much of number of atoms, 0.84796 into 10 to the power of 17 atoms. Since one atom donates 1 electrons, n atoms donate n electrons or small n itself, n electrons, which is equal to the number density. Okay, so once you get the value of n, therefore small n is equal to, so 0.84796 into 10 to the power of 17 electrons. So once you get the value of n, substitute here, you can calculate Vd. So we have I is equal to n a e v d. So that is equal to n is 0.84796 into 10 to the power of 17. Okay, a, area of cross section is given, so 2.4 into 10 to the power of minus 4 is the charge of the electron, 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 into Vd. Therefore that implies Vd is equal to, what is I? I is 4 ampere, current flowing through the conductor is 4 ampere. That implies Vd is equal to, okay, how much? So just calculate the value of drift velocity. Power of minus 6 meter per second, 1.2269 into 10 to the power of minus 6 meter per second. Okay, so that is the drift velocity of electrons. Okay, right. So next we move on to the temperature dependence of the resistivity. So in the previous class we discussed the resistivity of a material is depend on temperature. As the temperature is changed, the resistivity of a material changes. So different materials do not exhibit the same dependence of temperature. Say in case of metallic conductors, over a limited range of temperatures which is not too large, the resistivity of metallic conductor is given by rho at T Kelvin is equal to rho naught at some other temperature, say T naught Kelvin, into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. So the temperature range is not too large. It's a limited range of temperature. It is not too large. The resistivity of the metallic conductor is given by this expression. Its resistivity is directly proportional to temperature. Okay. So in case of metallic conductors, the resistivity of the conductor is directly proportional to the temperature. So above 0 degrees Celsius, above 273 Kelvin, the resistivity is directly proportional to temperature. So what is alpha? Alpha is called the temperature coefficient of resistivity. So alpha is equal to, it is rho T minus rho naught divided by rho naught into T minus T naught. Simplify this expression, okay, you'll get. So that is the temperature coefficient of resistivity, which is defined as the fractional change in resistivity per unit rise in temperature. Okay, fractional change in resistivity of the conductor. The fractional change or the relative change in resistivity for this particular range of temperature divided by the initial resistivity at temperature, initial temperature. Okay, so that gives the relative or fractional change in resistivity per unit of rise in temperature. That is called a temperature coefficient of resistivity. In the first year, we defined coefficient of linear expansion, right? Temperature coefficient of volume expansion, area expansion. Similarly, here, temperature coefficient of resistivity, change in resistivity. So that is fractional change or relative change in resistivity per unit rise in temperature. So that is called temperature coefficient of resistivity, and for conductors alpha is positive. Okay, alpha has a positive value for in case of conductors. Okay, so below 0 degrees Celsius, below 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin, so this expression is not valid. Resistivity at a temperature T Kelvin, so is equal to resistivity at a temperature T naught Kelvin into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. This expression is valid only if the temperature is above 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin. So above 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin. So if I plot a graph by taking the resistivity of the material of the conductor along y-axis with respect to temperature, so we should get a straight line. So this is rho naught, that is a resistivity of the conductor at 273 Kelvin, 0 degrees Celsius. As the temperature is increased above 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin, rho increases proportionately. Rho is proportional to T above 273 Kelvin. Okay, so this expression is valid only if the temperature is above 273 Kelvin. If the temperature is below less than 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin, resistivity is not proportional to, will not remain proportional to, if you decrease the temperature below 0 degrees Celsius, resistivity of the material of the conductor does not remain proportional to the temperature. So it will be like this. Okay, so this is rho, this is T. Okay, T is in Kelvin scale. So below 273 Kelvin, okay, below 273 Kelvin, say 150 Kelvin, 100 Kelvin, 50 Kelvin. So resistivity is not proportional to absolute temperature. So above 0 degrees Celsius or 273 Kelvin only, resistivity is directly proportional to absolute temperature in case of metallic conductors. If this is expression for resistivity of metallic conductor at a temperature T Kelvin, so then I can also write the expression for the resistance of the conductor. So RT is equal to R naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. Okay, where alpha is called temperature coefficient of resistance. Here is a temperature coefficient of resistivity, here temperature coefficient of resistance. Okay, right. So remember this expression rho T is equal to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. So T naught is some reference temperature. Okay, right? Rho T is the resistivity of the metal conductor at a temperature T, and rho naught is the resistivity of the material of the conductor at a temperature, at some reference temperature T naught, which is usually 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, above 0 degrees Celsius, so this expression is valid. Okay, so since above 0 degrees Celsius rho is proportional to T, so then you will get rho T is equal to rho naught into 1 plus alpha into T minus T naught. Okay, so there exist certain materials like constantan, nichrome, manganese. So they are the alloy. They show very weak dependence on temperature. Means their resistivity is not much dependent on temperature. Okay. In case of nichrome, if I consider these materials, nichrome, they are the alloys, nichrome, manganese, or constantan. So these are the alloys which whose resistivity is not much dependent on temperature. Means if you change temperature, the resistivity of these materials does not change much. Okay, very small change occurs due to change in temperature. Okay, so therefore whatever the change has taken place in the value of resistivity with respect to temperature is not significant, it is very minimum, it is small. Okay, so therefore these materials are used in case of wire bound resistors. Okay, so resistor is a device or component which is used to limit the current in a circuit. Okay, so in case of wire bound resistors, these materials are used since their resistivity is not much dependent on temperature. Okay, so if I plot a graph for the resistivity of, by taking the resistivity of material of these materials along y-axis with respect to temperature, so we are getting a graph like this. Okay, say here the variation, say somewhat, say 0.1 to 0.2 variation. Okay, the value of resistivity. Okay, in case of say nichrome, say this is 1.1, so this is say 1.2. Okay, like that, a small change in resistivity which is not large, it is very small, okay, which is not significant. That variation of resistivity with respect to temperature can be neglected in case of these materials. Therefore, these materials are used in wire bound resistors. So next we discuss the variation of resistivity with respect to temperature using the expression for resistivity. So in the previous class we derived the expression for conductivity, right? So we derived the expression for conductivity. See, we have the expression for conductivity of a material. Sigma is equal to n e square tau by m, right? So what about the resistivity then? Resistivity is inverse of conductivity, so therefore rho is equal to m by n e square tau. See, for any material, so m and e, they are constants, right? M is the mass of the electron and E is the charge of the electron. So rho is inversely proportional to the number density and relaxation time. Okay, number density means number of electrons present per unit volume, and tau is the relaxation time, that is the time interval between two successive collision of electrons with the positive ions. So rho is inversely proportional to n and tau. So in case of conductors or in metals, as the temperature is increased, okay, as the temperature is increased, we are discussing variation of resistivity with respect to temperature. If temperature is increased, what happens to the relaxation time in case of metals? The value of a number density of the conductor doesn't change much. Okay, it is almost independent of temperature. Number density of metallic conductors, number of electrons present per unit volume, you cannot change that value by merely changing temperature. Okay, so what happens to this value? So in case of metals, rho is inversely proportional to tau, since n cannot be changed by changing the temperature. So as the temperature is increased, the average speed of the electrons increases. As the temperature is increased, electrons get thermal energy, due to which average speed of electrons increases. Okay, so the positive ions, their amplitude of vibration is also increased due to increase in due to rise in temperature, increase of temperature. If increase the temperature, average speed of the electrons increases, and the amplitude of vibration of positive ions also increases. So due to which this relaxation time decreases. Okay, since the electrons now more frequently collide with the positive ions, since their average speed is increased, and also the amplitude of vibration of positive ions is now more. So therefore those electrons moving inside the conductor, they frequently collide with the positive ions. Therefore the relaxation time, that is the time interval between two successive collision of electrons with the positive ions, decreases, due to which so due to which resistivity increases. Okay, so this is in case of metals or metallic conductors. As the temperature is increased, relaxation time decreases, and since relaxation time, the resistivity is inversely related to relaxation time. So since relaxation time is decreasing, resistivity of the material of the conductor increases. So in case of semiconductors, so rho here is inversely proportional to 1 by, inversely proportional to n and tau. N means number density, number of electrons present per unit volume of the semiconductor. Tau is the relaxation time. Okay, so in this particular case, if you increase the temperature, so in case of semiconductors, if the temperature is increased, what happens? More number of charge carriers are generated. So due to increase in temperature, more number of electron hole pairs are produced or generated, due to which number density increases. Okay, so number density increases. But what about the relaxation time? Now they frequently collide with the ions, right? So tau value decreases. Okay, but decrease in the value of tau relaxation time does not compensate increase in the value of number density. Okay, ಇದೆಷ್ಟು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. number density of the charge carriers is more. Increase in number density of charge carriers is more compared to decrease in the relaxation time. Therefore, decrease in relaxation time does not compensate any increase in the number density, and therefore the net effect is that in the denominator the net effect is this value is increasing, product of n and tau value is increasing. So therefore, due to increase in temperature, so rho value, the resistivity value of the semiconductors decreases in the, because in the since in the denominator the product of n and tau, net effect is that the product of n and tau is increasing, therefore rho decreases. Okay, even though tau is decreasing, n is increasing, their product is increasing because increase in n is more compared to the decrease in the relaxation time. Therefore, the resistivity of the semiconductor decreases with increase in temperature due to enormous charge carrier generation. Okay, so therefore, if I plot a graph by taking the resistivity along y-axis, resistivity of the semiconductor along y-axis, and temperature along x-axis, the resistivity of the semiconductor decreases. Okay, right. So that is a graph which shows the variation of resistivity with respect to temperature in case of semiconductors. Okay, so that is all about the variation of resistivity with respect to temperature.